Um, we have to do Mangla Charan, so let's do that. Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you for joining. Please accept my humble obeisances. Before we start our any discussion further, let's do the prayers very quickly. Everybody can chant together. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाखया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं सतं सजीवं साधुवेतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमस्तुते तप्त काञ्चना गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा जय श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम रामा हरे हरे। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णा पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमती भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारणे मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घायते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनातारणं परमानन्दमाधवं कृष्णचैतन्य ईश्वरम् गुरुवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकाय तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। Okay, now we can start our discussion. So we were discussing about the three modes and how we should try to stay as much as possible in mode of goodness, because that mode of goodness is most conducive for bhakti, right? So somebody who is a devotee or who is just, like when we are practicing Krishna consciousness, let's say you do deity worship, you get up in the morning, you're chanting your rounds, you are offering Mangal Aarti to the Lord, then you attend a Bhagavad Gita class. So what mode is this? Who can answer? Is this, yes, Mataji?
It's going to be above the mode of goodness.
Yes. Mataji did not leave any scope for any other answers because that is the perfect answer. So it is. So you're saying it's not mode of goodness, is it?
No, above.
Above. Okay. So above means transcendental, right? So,
Yeah.
yes. Yes. Because
Yes.
beyond the three modes, meaning we are not in the control of Maya at that time, right? We are in the we are taking shelter of Krishna. So there are two positions that Jiva can take at any time. Jiva can take shelter of Krishna or shelter of Maya. Okay. Typically, we always are in the shelter of Maya, and that's when we are controlled by the three modes. Whether we are in mode of goodness, ignorance, or passion, right? Depending on various type of consciousness that changes through the day, different type of activities we do through the day. But when we are putting ourselves in shelter of Krishna, then we are not in control of Maya anymore. Then we have transcended. Then we are on a spiritual platform. We are Brahma Bhuta. We are situated on the Brahman platform, right? So we are above the Maya at that time, above the three modes. Because these three modes, karma, all these things, these are the laws of material nature, right? We have to understand. Uh, Everybody is familiar with law of gravity, right? Who knows quantum physics? I don't. So I'm not going to raise my hand, but I'm sure somebody here, one of the smart kids, will know quantum physics. Thermodynamics. I think I know a little bit, somewhat about thermodynamics. Okay. Everybody knows the laws, the Newton's laws. Yeah, I think so, somewhat, right? So just like there are all these laws are also laws of material nature, right? We agree? Law of gravity, law of and they're also very irregular. Like in some planets, we say, oh, there is no gravity, there is zero gravity, right? Thermodynamics can vary, right? Quantum physics, I'm sure, can vary. So, but those are all laws of material nature. Similarly, in our spiritual books, in our Vedas, some laws of material nature are given, and we are talking about this particular law where the three modes of material nature, the three gunas, three gunas control us like chains, right? These three gunas control us like chains. Oh, you all remember this picture I showed one time. You remember this picture we saw one time? So this lady here represents the golden color typically represents mode of goodness. This mode of passion is the red color lady, and this dark blue purplish color is the mode of ignorance. So these are like chains that are controlling the jiva, and each lady, you can see each guna is controlling um, each jiva. So it's not like this jiva is only in mode of goodness. This jiva is also being controlled by this lady and by this lady. So all these chains are binding the jivas, right? And above, I don't know if you can see the feet of Krishna, but here is the Krishna, right? So Krishna is above and beyond these three modes. So this is the one of the laws of material nature. Law of karma is another law of material nature, right? That we have already discussed in the early part of Bhagavad Gita. But now we're discussing the three modes of material nature. Now, let me ask you this. So we said, okay, when we are eating prashadam, we talked about different foods that can be in different modes, right? So when you offer the food to the Lord, what mode is prashadam in? Is it goodness, ignorance, or passion? Yes, Sheetal Mataji.
Mataji, but it's also transcendental.
Yes, it is spiritual food, it is transcendental, right? So otherwise, when we eat only for our sense gratification without offering it to the Lord first, right? What does Bhagavad Gita say? What do we eat if we are eating without offering to the Lord? We are eating, yes, Mataji.
Eating sins.
We are eating sin. And Vinita wants to quote the verse. Which verse says that if we eat without offering to the Lord, we are eating only sin? Yes.
It's 3.13. Yagyasistashanashanto muchante sarvakid vishai punchante te tvagam papa ye pachanti atmakaranat.
Bhunjte te tvagam papa. He's like cannot be any clearer than that. That you're eating only pap. Ye pachante atma karanat, who is eating for his own sense gratification. So, and then it can be in different modes. If you're eating like milk and fruits and vegetables, right? Then it can be mode of goodness. If it is very, very spicy, very, very full of masalas and all this oily fried food, then that can be in mode of passion. If you're eating very tamasic food is like meats and different animals that you slaughtered and ate. So that will be tamasic food. That will generate very bad karma, right? Ugra karma. Okay. So so when Krishna comes, right? So Krishna, sometimes we know that he appears, like he appears. We just celebrated Ram Navami. He came as Lord Ram, or he comes as his original, fully opulent form of Krishna himself in Dwapar Yuga, or he came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? And he does various activities. So let's say when Krishna came, he was as a king, he was ruling. So what mode was he in? Was he in mode of goodness, ignorance, or passion? He was fighting, he was killing demons, he was defeating so many enemies, and so many wars were going on. What mode was he in? Okay, Sheetal Mataji knows. Who else? Who else would like to try? Would Navya like to try? No? Okay. Okay. Vedahi? What mode is Krishna controlled by when he comes on this planet, in this material realm to do his pastimes?
He's not controlled by anything.
think he's Krishna. He controls everything.
Okay. Yes. You want to elaborate a little more?
I guess I don't know how.
Okay. So let's say okay, Vinita wants to elaborate. Go ahead, Vinita.
Is it could it be because Krishna is like Paramatma, and then because Paramatma sanctions everything that the jiva does, and
Okay.
then Prakriti controls it?
Sure. Yeah, but I think both of you answered, very answered very correctly that uh, Krishna is the Ishwar. Ishwar means the controller, right? Ishwara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. So he's the controller. He's the Sarva Karana Karanam. He's the cause of all causes, right? He's always Satchidanand, his body, Satchidanand Vigraha. Vigraha means body. His body is always Satchidanand. So even when he appears on this material planet, on this material realm to do his pastimes, they are pastimes. They are not his karmas, right? And so he's not controlled by any laws of material nature. He's not controlled by the three modes of material nature. He is there, Ishwar. He is the Ishwar of Prakriti. Prakriti is his maid servant, right? It is said that Prakriti is his maid servant. All the demigods are his servants. They're in servitude to the Lord. So if everybody is subservient to him when he comes, he's not controlled by anything, right? So take an example of, let's say, Prime Minister visits the jail. Hmm? So does that mean that he's bound? He has to follow the rules of the jail. He has to eat that food that other prisoners are given. He has to sleep in that the cell, the prisoner cell. He has to do the chores that the prisoners are doing. Does he have to do all those activities that they are assigned? No. Prime Minister is just coming to visit the jail to see, oh, what conditions my people are in, to interact with his subordinates, like with the jailer or with the police superintendent and all that, right? He's not subjugated to the rules of the prison, right? He's not under the control of the rule. He's controlling. He's come to see how my authorities, are doing, how my servants are performing. So that is the example given. Or you can say, let's say on the road, there is a traffic light, right? All the cars, all the vehicles will stop for the traffic light. Is that right? Everybody will stop. Will the airplane stop for the traffic light? Who says yes? No. So he's above and beyond the rules that are being followed on the road. So those rules of the road don't apply to the airplane because he's flying above. Similarly, Krishna is above those three modes. So even when he comes to do his pastimes, they are called. That's why they're not activities. They're not karma. They're not kriya. They are leelas. Right? Leela means everything is arranged by him in a particular fashion, right? It is not according to any kind of laws. We are bound to the laws. That is why we say appearance and disappearance. He appears and disappears. He decides when to come and he decides when to leave. He decides how he would come, which house he would come, what body he will appear in, and how he would leave, what would be the activities that he'll perform when he comes, who will be his associates, who will be his mother, father, friend, brother, sister, wife, all that. He already knows, he's already decided, right? So, but for us, we have no control on these things. We are bound by the material laws. We take birth according to our karma, whether we take birth in this species, on this planet, or on a higher planet, lower planet, animal species, bird species, plant species. We have no control. Even if we come to human species, we have no control which family we are born in, right? Who our parents are, who would we meet during our life, right? We can make some choices. We have that minute freedom, the independence to make choices, and those choices decide how our future destiny will be. But we cannot decide how we leave our body. I don't know when the time is, when it's our last day on our earth, and how we would leave, right? Nothing. So we don't know what disease will happen to us in a few days or in a few years, right? So we have no control on any situation, whereas he's the supreme controller, controlling everything. So let me ask you one more question and then we'll go forward with the reading. So this is open to all. Um, um, in New Vrindavan, once Prabhupada was giving a lecture, and devotees asked Prabhupada, what is your favorite verse from the entire Bhagavad Gita? Out of the 700 verses, what is your favorite verse? Can you all guess the favorite verse, especially those that have memorized 50 verses, 75, 108 verses? How about guess some verses? Nirbhay Prabhu is also open to. Yes, Vedi, go ahead.
Is it Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna?
Okay, no. Very, very nice guess. That's the last verse of Bhagavad Gita that where he is quoting. Okay. Keep guessing. There are so many important verses that we've discussed. Come on, Navya or Nirbhay Prabhu want to guess? Poonam Mataji.
Aham sarvasva prabhu.
Okay, very important verse. Chaturshloki Bhagavad Gita, first verse of Chaturshloki, Aham Sarasya Prabhu. But no. Okay, I'll give you a hint. Okay, let's take a few more, then I'll give you the hint. Yes, Navya. Go ahead, I can't hear you. Can't hear you. Matra Sparshastu Kauntya. Okay, no. Yes, Vinita and then Anita Mataji.
Manmanabha Madbhakto.
Manmanabha Madbhakto. Very important verse. Which Manmana?
The last one. That's
From 18th chapter? No, well, neither. Neither of the Manmana. Okay, Vinita, go ahead.
It was it 9.22. Fools
Shupram.
deride me.
Oh, no, you're talking about 9.11.
No, ananyas chintayanto mam yajana paripasate tesham nityavyuktana.
Okay, yes. So, but you said fools deride me. That's 9.11, right?
Oh no, I said I didn't mean to say that. Sorry, I was like what I carry what they lack and preserve what they have.
No, but with fools deride me, you were on the right track.
Oh, okay.
No, but it's not the right verse, but you're on the right track. Okay, we'll come to that. Anita Mataji, yes.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Mine was same answer as Vinita said, 9.22.
I know
Ananya
that.
Chintayan.
That's your favorite verse. I know that.
This is the one I keep reciting
I
every
know.
morning and evening.
I know. I remember that. Yes. Mataji, you want to recite this?
Yes, Mataji. Ananyas Chintayanto Mam Ye Jana Paripasate Tesham Nityabhiyuktanam Yoga Shemam Vahamyaham.
Very bold. Very nice, Mataji, but this is not the correct answer. So, okay, I'll give you a hint. Huh?
Is it Avjananti Mamuda?
So that's what Vinita was translating. Fools deride me when I come. So this is the right track. So that's what I was giving you the hint that the verse is the same discussion that we were having about how Krishna and his birth and pastimes are transcendental, and those that understand the transcendental nature of my birth and pastimes will never come back again. Okay, this is the translation. Now give me the verse. Yes, Navya. Yes, loudly. And then Avni can recite. Very bold. Avni, can you recite very loud?
Janma karma cha me. Wait, Janma karma cha. Wait. Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tatvata tyaktva deham punarjanma neti mameti sorjuna.
Very bold. Yes. So this is what we were discussing, and Prabhupada said this is my favorite verse because whoever understands this concept will never come take birth and will come back to me. So he says, Janma karma cha me divyam, that my birth and my karma, my pastimes, my activities are divya. They are transcendental. Divya means transcendental. Evam yoveti tatvata. Whoever understands this part, this transcendental nature. Tyaktva deham, after giving up this body, punarjanma, naeti, they never take birth again. Mameti, they achieve me, O Arjuna. Right? This is what we were discussing, right? That Krishna's birth, appearance, pastimes, they are not subjected to these three modes of material nature. He's transcendental to everything. So these three ladies that are controlling us, ordinary jivas, when Krishna comes, he's not controlled by them, because Krishna is the supreme controller. He's controlling them. They are not controlling him. So he says, Maya adhyakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam hetu nanena konteya jagat viprivartite. That under my my authority, this prakriti runs. Maya adhyakshena prakriti, under my supervision. Prakriti suyate sacharacharam. All the living and non-living entities conduct themselves, right? So this transcendental, so when we are talking about three modes, remember that we are only always talking about ordinary jivas. We are talking about even demigods can be in the influence of these, but not the Lord, not his incarnations, not his expansions, not his associates, not his parshads that he comes with. So even his parshads, his associates that come, they are not in the control of three modes of material nature. And but we are trying to understand our position, so we'll go back to Bhagavad Gita, verse 10. Let's start from here. Is this discussion so far clear, or does anyone have any questions, comment? And the verse that Vinita was quoting was Avjananti mam mula manusham tanumashritam param bhavam ajananto mam bhut maheshwaram. That Avjananti mam mula, that when I come as a human, manusham tanumashritam. Tanu means body. When I come in the human body, the mula, the foolish people deride me. Fools deride me, he says. Right? That's what Vinita was saying. Fools deride me when I come as a human being, because they think I'm an ordinary human. Right? इसलिए लोग ऐसे बोलते हैं ना कि ये तो ऐसे करते थे कृष्णा, तो ये करते थे, वो करते थे. He does not have to conduct according to you, according to an ordinary jiva. He conducts, he has his own pastimes that are meant for his devotees, to give delight to them, to give pleasure to his devotees, and to kill the demons, right? So he does not. He can do Ras Leela, he can steal butter, he can run away from the war if he wants to, and be called Ranchor and be always glorified with that name, right? He can be called Makhanchor and be always glorified with that name, because that's the Supreme Lord. He's the controller. He's the Parampita Parmeshwar. So he's not an ordinary human. So we don't have any. We shouldn't deride him. We should. And we shouldn't even try to imitate him like people do anukaran. We should never try to imitate Krishna. मैं भी पहाड़ उठा के दिखाऊंगा. No, we should just do anusaran. We should follow his instructions, and these are his instructions here. So Bhagavad Gita 14.10. Let's all recite. Rajastamascha bhibhuya. Rajastamascha bhibhuya. Sattvam bhavati bharata.
Sattvam bhavati bharata.
Raja sattvam tamaschaiva.
Rajasattvam tamaschaiva.
Tama sattvam rajastatha.
Tamasattvam rajasthatha.
Okay, can anyone read the translation? Yes, Mataji.
Sometimes the mode of goodness becomes prominent, defeating the modes of passion and ignorance, O son of Bharata. Sometimes the mode of passion defeats goodness and ignorance, and at other times, ignorance defeats goodness and passion. In this way, there is always competition for supremacy. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So this one we can discuss, and then we'll take the next three verses together. So here Krishna is saying that sattvam, when sattvam happens, sometimes it will defeat the rajas and tamas. So sometimes, basically what he's saying is that sometimes one mode is prominent in us, sometimes another mode is prominent. When goodness is predominant, then the passion and ignorance fade away or go away. And when rajas is prominent, then goodness and ignorance go away. When tamas or ignorance is prominent, then goodness and rajas go away. Goodness and passion go away. Which basically means that in a jiva, it's not that a jiva is only in mode of goodness, only in mode of passion, or only in mode of ignorance. You can see in yourself, right? If you evaluate yourself, you can see that through the day, our guna, which is controlling us, changes, right? Sometimes we are in mode of goodness, sometimes we are very nice, very helpful to people, we are working, we are doing our work very quietly, calmly, we are very friendly, right? We are in a very creative mood, like that. Mode of passion is sometimes we are very ambitious. I want to do this, I want to get it done, right? I want to make more money, I want to fulfill this task, or achieve this, right? Fulfill this dream, like that. So we are sometimes in a very active mode. That is mode of passion, right? And sometimes we are in a very dark, ignorant mood where we are, I don't care, I don't want to do anything, I don't feel, like in a mode of inactivity or lethargy, sleeping more indolence type takes over, right? So sometimes we are in that phase. And most people will go through all these modes through the day. It's not like we are situated in one mode all the time, right? But we try as much as possible to stay in mode of goodness as possible, right? So just because you're feeling sleepy at night time doesn't mean that you're in mode of ignorance. No, that's just a function of the body. But if you sleep for like 10 hours, or more than 8 hours, then that is definitely mode of ignorance. If you sleep, you are prescribed according to your body. Let some people sleep like 6 hours, some people may sleep 8 hours, then that is optimal sleep. Then that's not mode of ignorance, that's actually mode of goodness, because you are resting according to your bodily needs so you can function optimally, right? If you're eating a lot, बहुत सारा खा रहे and गलत चीजें खा रहे, then that is probably mode of passion. If you're eating the right amount, like Krishna says in 6th chapter, yuktahara viharasya, that we should balance how much we eat, how much recreation we indulge in, right? We should balance all that. How much we sleep, that should also be balanced. So all those things, if they're in a balanced way, they're typically mode of goodness. When we are very active, very in a like an enjoyer mode, that I want to enjoy everything, I want to enjoy with all my senses and gratify all my senses, do all kind of fruitive activities, that is mode of passion, right? So different modes become predominant in different times or different phases of our life, right? But person in Krishna consciousness should try to transcend all these three modes. And how can we transcend? By engaging in more and more spiritual activities, right? So how can you transcend these three modes, like on a daily basis? Can everybody see in their lifestyle, are we doing some activities where we are trying to transcend these three modes? Can you do your work in such a way that, like, you're going to school, you're doing your homework, or you're doing your work, those that are professionals? Can that work ever be spiritual? Or will that work always be in mode of goodness or passion or something? Can your work become spiritual? Yes, Vedi.
You can, like, when you're working to get it to be spiritual, you can think of it that you're doing your duty for Krishna.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And work or study like that.
Yes. So anything, if you do that work for yourself, right? That I want to be the first in the class, I want to prove, that nobody's better than me. Then that is like mode of passion, right? Or mode of goodness will be, I'm working because I'm reading this subject because I like to read this subject. I like to do this. So you're still doing it mostly for yourself, right? Because this particular subject gives you knowledge and gives you happiness. So remember that goodness binds you to knowledge and happiness. And when you do it for some kind of fruitive sense gratification, then that is mode of passion. But when you do, yes, I like it, but also by doing this, it will please my parents, it will please Krishna, it will be the right thing to do. This is according to the rules and regulation, the injunctions of a student life, that I should be studying in a balanced way different subjects, right? Then that becomes a spiritual activity. So any activity actually that a devotee performs becomes spiritual because he's always in Krishna consciousness. I'm not talking about me, or we are very new, but I'm talking about let's say Prabhupada or advanced devotees, pure devotees of the Lord, that even though they may be working, they're engaged in professional activities. They look like they're doing all the same things as us, but their consciousness, their intention behind what they're doing is completely always related to Krishna, right? When they, let's say I'm a doctor, when you treat a patient, you're not treating because just because I want to do this, so I make more money, so I make more name for myself or fame, or people will talk about me and sing my glories. If that is the intent, then that is mode of passion. If the intent is okay, this is the kind of work that has been given to me, I want to just treat this person so I get better and feel good, then that is mode of goodness, right? I'm doing it because this will help somebody. But now if I do it with this intention that this was the job, this was the birth given to me by Krishna, this knowledge was given to me by Krishna, all my abilities and skills were given to me by Krishna, and I am his servant, then and work in that mood that I'm going to work as a servant. He assigned me this job so I can do it complete properly, fully, right, without any results for myself, then that will be a Krishna conscious activity. Then that same work that other person is doing is fruitive work, and that same work that devotee is doing will become a spiritual activity. So any activity in a day, we can transcend these three modes by making them spiritual, by making them Krishna conscious, right? Always be in the mood of servant of the servant of the servant of the Lord. Always be in the mood that I'm just part and parcel of Krishna. Always be in the mood that I'm just an instrument in the hands of Krishna, right? If you think I am the doer, this is my victory, that something good happened, then then you are controlled by the three modes. Then it is a fruitive work. But if you are in the mode that if something happened, it is because Krishna intended it to happen, it was his mercy, he made me an instrument, then that is the spiritual mentality, spiritual consciousness. So in this way, any activity in a day can become spiritual. And Prabhupada in the purport is saying that we transcend the mode of goodness, and it can be called Vishuddh Sattva Guna or Vasudev state. It is called pure goodness. It's not just goodness, it's pure goodness. It's Vasudev state. But what happens is that in this material world, pure goodness is very difficult to achieve. So don't if sometimes you find yourself in mode of passion or ignorance or mode of goodness, it's very hard to be in a transcendental or spiritual state all the time, especially for neophytes like us. We can just struggle, but pure state is very difficult to achieve in this material world. Vishuddha Sattva Gun really does not exist. That is what Krishna is saying, that there will always be a mixture of the three modes, right? Okay, let's read next three together. 14.11, 12 and 13. 14.11 सर्वद्वारेषु देहे अस्मिन् सर्वद्वारेषु देहे
देहेऽस्मिन्
प्रकाश उपजायते ज्ञानं यदा तदा विद्यात्
ज्ञानं यदा तदा विद्यात्
विवृद्धं सत्त्वम् इति युत
विवृद्धं
Okay, would someone like to read this?
You can read it, Mataji.
Yes.
The manifestation of the mode of goodness can be experienced when all the gates of the body are illuminated by knowledge. Hari Bol.
Very bold. So let's read these three together. In these three verses, Krishna is talking about how each mode manifests, what changes will happen in the body. So that is 1. 14.12 Lobha pravrittir arambha कर्मणाम् अशमा स्पृहा रजस्य एतानि जायन्ते विवृद्धे भरतर्षभा Okay, would someone like to read this one?
I can read it.
Yes.
O chief of the Bharatas, when there is an increase in the mode of passion, The symptoms of great attachment, fruitive activity, intense endeavor, and uncontrollable desire and hankering develop.
Very good. Okay. So this was about mode of passion. When mode of passion develops, what symptoms happen? Let's do one more. 14.3. So we'll see what happens when mode of ignorance develops. Aprakasho pravrittischa
Aprakasha
Pravrittischa
pramado moha eva cha
Pramado moha
Moha
Ado
eva
Eva
cha
Mohaevacha
tamasya etani jayante
Tamasya Tani
Tamasya
Tani
Jayante
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 vivriddhe kuru nandana.
Vivriddhi
Vivriddhe
Vivriddhe
Guru
Gurunandana.
Gurunandana.
Hema, you want to read?
Yes. When there is increase in the mode of ignorance, O son of Kuru, darkness, inertia, madness, and illusion are manifested. Hari Bol.
Vivo. So I think we've discussed these three actually already, but Krishna is talking about what happens when each of these three modes manifest in our body. What symptoms do we develop, right? So when mode of goodness manifests, then all the gates of the body are illuminated by knowledge. So let's see who knows all the gates of the body. How many gates are there and who can name them? We have read these in the past. Come on. Yes.
Nine gates.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, please share.
There are 9 gates.
Yes, 9 gates. Who wants to list them? Yes, Vaidehi.
I know one of them is the mouth.
Look at your face.
कर्मेंद्रिय ज्ञानेंद्रिय
Yes.
दो आंखें दो कान
दो
दो
आंखें,
नोस्ट्रिल
दो कान, दो nostrils.
नोस्ट्रिल्स
Okay.
मुंह
ये हो गए 7. 7 हो गए 7. दो आंखें, दो नाक, एक मुंह, दो कान. 7 हो गए 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. और एक evacuating organ like anus या rectum और एक genitalia, right?
genital.
So 9, right? So 9 basically the karmendriya and karmendriya is 9 is zyada. So this is the knowledge acquiring senses. These are the 9 gates of the body. And if you remember, we read about this in chapter 5, this one, where Krishna said, Sarva karmani manasa sanyasyate sukham vasi navdvare pure dehi naiva kurvan nakarayan. When the embodied living being controls his nature and mentally renounces all actions, he resides happily in the city of 9 gates, the material body, neither working nor causing the work to be done. Right? That the embodied living entity, the Jiva, lives in this city of 9 gates. Is Navdware Pure. In this Puri, in the city of 9 gates, he lives neither doing anything nor generating any work, not causing any work to be done. Right? So this same concept is now coming here, that all the gates of the body are illuminated by knowledge. So how is that possible? How the gates of the body are illuminated by knowledge? So remember, these are the knowledge acquiring senses, right? We perceive the world through this, like what we hear, right? What we hear, what we see, what we smell, what we speak, and what we taste, right? Tongue has 2 functions, speaking and tasting, as a Gyanendriya and Karmendriya. And then whatever we put in our body, right, that will either lead to, that can cause lust, which will cause genitalia to be active, and whatever we put in our body will be evacuated from the evacuating organ, right? So in this way, our body, whatever goes in, comes out, right, will depend on what we are putting inside our body, right? You cry from your eyes, you will cry when some kind of stimulus happens that will make you cry, right? Or you speak something depending on the stimulus that you get, right? You may speak nice words, you may speak bad words, you may be angry, right? You may blaspheme people, whatever. So in this way, If somebody is in mode of goodness, right, what is he doing? He is regulating what he hears, he is regulating what he sees, he is regulating what he tastes or puts in his mouth, he is regulating what he speaks, right? He's regulating what he smells, right? Whereas a person in mode of ignorance is just doing anything. He's putting whatever in his mouth. जैसे आजकल होता है जो दिखा खा लिया खा से बस खाते रहते हैं, right? Meat खा रहे हैं, so many abominable things that you're putting in your body. Prabhupada used to say that you're making your body is a temple of the Lord and you're making it a graveyard. That is horrible. Right? You're putting all these animal carcasses in your body, this body is meant for the service of the Lord. और उस टेम्पल में आपने कार्कसेस डाल दिए, राइट? दैट इज सच एन इग्नोरेंट पोजिशन एंड व्हाट विल हैपन टू दोज पीपल? वी नो हाउ badly they get colon cancer, right, from eating red meat. Where did that come from? Colon cancer by eating red meat. So what are they're evacuating from their anus? Blood. Such an abominable situation, right? Evacuating blood out of your anus. So in this way, garbage in, garbage out. This is the principle. GIGO, GIGO. If you put garbage in your body, then garbage will come out, right? But if we put all nice things, Gandhi ji ke teen bandar, you remember Gandhi ji's 3 monkeys? There was the same principle, right? Because Gandhi ji was in mode of goodness. What principles was it? Everybody from India knows.
बुरा ना देखो, बुरा ना सुनो, बुरा ना कहो. Right?
Bolo. Yes. Right? Bura mat dekho, bura mat. Remember 3 bandar like this, right? Why? Because you should not, if you do any of these things, bura dekhna, galat cheezein hum dekh rahe hain. We are putting so much sensory input, like through TV. We watch so many violent scenes and gorish scenes and so many bad things, people killing each other. We are putting that in our consciousness. Everything that we put inside our body is creating an imprint on our consciousness, on our subtle body. It is creating an imprint on our mind, intelligence, and ego. And remember, we have to get rid of our subtle body to get liberation. Whereas we are creating so much imprints on our subtle body that there is no way to get rid of subtle body. It will keep carrying forward. Then when we see all these things, violent scenes, gorish scenes, people killing each other, what happens? We become violent, right? Violent tendency, angry. Then we will say bad things from our mouth. That will generate karma, right? So hearing bad things, seeing bad things, speaking bad things, putting bad things in the mouth, smelling bad things, right? All these things will ultimately pollute the body, pollute our perception of this world, and we will keep on having this subtle body, which very, very contaminated subtle body, very, very contaminated consciousness. And it will become very difficult to approach Lord, because to approach Lord, one should be pure, भगवान गंदी जगह पे नहीं रहते, राइट? भगवान के टेम्पल को कैसे everybody cleans the temple. So how can he reside in this body, in this this is Paramatma residing in our heart. ईश्वरा सर्वभूतानाम हृदय से अर्जुन तिष्ठति, right? ईश्वर सभी entities के हृदय में रहते हैं. हृदय से अर्जुन तिष्ठति, and you are polluting that body. So these 9 gates will become illuminated with knowledge. This same body can be a source of knowledge, source of illumination, source of liberation. If we hear good things, see good things, eat good things, we will have hankering for hearing spiritual matters, spiritual subjects. We will have hankering for association of devotees. We'll have hankering, we'll develop taste for chanting the Lord's name, right? But if we don't do those things, then there will never be any taste for chanting the Lord's name. There will never be any taste for association of devotees or taste for prasadam. And all those previous tastes that we had will never go away. So Krishna is saying that in mode of goodness, your 9 gates can become illuminated by knowledge. So what we put inside those 9 gates will determine whether we are in ignorance or knowledge. Is that clear? Okay. So then the next one, Krishna is talking about the symptoms of mode of passion. So mode of passion leads to great attachment, fruitive activity, uncontrollable desires and hankerings, right? So the person will become very ambitious, very greedy, right? He will be engaging in many fruitive activities and prayas, like intense endeavor or prayas. He will have many hankerings, uncontrollable desires. Like hankering matlab longing to increase his position in the society, to increase his money, not satisfied with this house, want a bigger house, not satisfied with 1 lakh, want 1 crore now, then 1 crore, now I want 10 crore, now I want 100 crore, 1 million, 10 million, like that. So he keeps hankering for more and more. There is no end to the desires. That person will never be satisfied. He will, and he has an enjoyer-like tendency that I am the enjoyer, I am the Lord. That is the passion. And the third is mode of ignorance. When mode of ignorance increases, then we have this darkness, inertia, inactivity, madness, indolence or sleep. This person will take to like intoxicants, right? This person will be very far away from reality. They will have no particular goal in their life. They are just wandering around without any goal in their life. They have so many lamentations and complaints, very sad, dejected people, or just completely in illusion. Most of the people actually are in mode of ignorance. So a lot of karmis that when you meet, you will see that people are in mode of ignorance a lot. But here, this is number 11 is the main thing that we have to, that is in our control, that we can take care of. This is a very nice lesson. What goes in through the gates of our body will illuminate the body by knowledge. So I want everybody to focus on this aspect. These sense organs we talked about, they're like USB in a computer. अगर USB में virus होगा तो computer में virus चला जाएगा, right? So try not to put infected USB in our software. Okay, let's hear from everybody. Please share any thoughts, what changes you think you'll make in your life. How can we change the input that we are getting through our ears and eyes and nose and mouth? Anyone wants to share? Manisha Mataji hasn't said anything today. Mataji, are you available?
Yes, Mataji, I am available, but nothing to say. I am attending this. I am listening to it, passive listeners.
Okay. Okay. All right, let's take from him. Yes, Avni.
We can follow the ABCD, like the association, reading books, chanting.
Yes, Mataji. Can you elaborate ABCD ka for everybody?
Mataji, A would stand for like association, sadhu sang. B would be like reading books or scriptures. C would be chanting, and D would be like diet or prasadam, taking prasadam.
Yes. Yes, and stands for entering Vrindavan or entering the Dham, meaning visiting temples or having a temple in the house that you perform deity worship. So, yes, thank you, Mataji. Yes, so by A, B, C, D, E, the very simple guidelines given by Prabhupada, we can change the inputs that we are putting in our body, right? So by association of devotees, because devotees won't be doing any gossiping and all this. They'll be doing Harikatha. So we are hearing Harikatha, right? We are reading scriptures. So we are reading scriptures. We are seeing the words, the verses given by Krishna. We are hearing Krishna's Vani, right? Prabhupada's Vani, right? Pure devotee of the Lord or another pure devotees, our acharyas. C, chanting. So by chanting, we are engaging so many senses. We are touching the beads. We are hearing the Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hear each word and you speak each word, right? So you're speaking and hearing that, right? And so that is, so here you're engaging your ears, your mouth, your touch, and you can have a deity's picture in front of you, so you can be seeing the deity while you are chanting. And D stands for, Mataji said, diet or prasadam. So have a prasad diet, Krishnatarian diet. Okay. So somebody may say, what are you? You know, are you vegetarian? You're pescatarian? You're carnivorous or cannibal or what are you? So we are Krishnatarian, meaning we eat only the prasad that is offered to the Lord. So we don't want to put anything in our mouth that is not first offered to the Lord. So that is Krishna's bhoga, Mahaprasad. So D is diet. E is entering the dham. So by looking at the deities, right, we will always remember that we are servant of the Lord. You offer them arti, that they are our master, they are controller, the supreme enjoyer. So slowly this tendency of me being the center of attention, of me being the master, the controller, from me consciousness will become Krishna conscious, because we are serving the Lord every day, for a few minutes offer some prayers or arti that, oh Lord, please remove the anarthas from my heart, please purify my heart and mind so that I can chant your names, I can have taste of your names, so that I can, so that you will reside in my heart, so that the Vaishnavas will reside in my heart. So that is A, B, C, D, E. Okay, we did till 13. Let me see how big. If you're okay, let's do 2 more, then we will be there together. So we'll just do those 2 together. These are easy to understand and follow. So we'll do these 2. Bhagavad Gita 14.14. These 2 verses tell us the destination of the people in different modes. Goodness wala vyakti kahan jayega, passion wala or ignorance wala. Yada sattve pravritte tu
Yada sattve pravriddhetu
pralayam yati deha bhrit
pralayam yati deha
तदोत्तमा वेदाम लोकान
तदोत्तमवेदां लोकान्
अम्लान प्रतिपद्यते अम्लान
अम्लान्
प्रतिपद्यते.
Padyate.
Okay, let's read this. Namita Mataji, you want to read?
Yes, Haribol. When one dies in the mode of goodness, he attains to be the pure higher planets of the great sages. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So this is very straightforward. So whoever is in mode of goodness will go to the higher planets of the great sages. Next one. Rajasi pralayam gatva
Rajasi pralayam gatva
कर्म संगीषु जायते
karma sangeshu jayate
तथा प्रलीनस्तमसि मूढा योनिषु जायते
Mura
योनिषु जायते. Okay, please read this one. Yes, Hema.
When one dies in the mode of passion, he takes birth among those engaged in fruitive desires, fruitive activities, and one dies in the mode of ignorance, he takes birth in the animal kingdom. Hari Bol.
Very both. So this is very, very clear cut, right? Mode of goodness will go up to the higher planets, to the where the sages and demigods live. And then this will come again later. If you remember the verse 14.18, Urdhvam Gachanti, right? I think most of you might have memorized that verse. So that will come. The concept will come again. But this is the lokas. So so this is our earth, Bhuloka, okay? Remember Om, Bhur, Bhuva, Swaha. So Bhuloka is the earthly planets. Bhuvar is the one above. So there are 6 above. There are 14 planetary systems. Everybody remembers this 14 planetary systems? Above the earth are 6 planetary systems and below the earth are 7. Okay? Above the earth are called higher or upper planetary systems. Below the earth are called lower planetary systems. Okay? In the upper planetary systems, the topmost is Satyaloka, where Brahmaji lives. This is Lord Brahma's abode. Remember, we are talking about material creation. So Lord Brahmaji is also in the material world, right? He's controlling this this universe, Brahmand, Brahmaji ka anda, Brahmand is the universe that he's controlling, right? So he's the topmost jiva in that particular universe. So Satyaloka is the topmost planet in that universe. Tapoloka, where very austere tapasvi people live. Janaloka, where the Saptarishi, 7 sages live. Maharloka, I think some devotees, some not devotees, but like other sages live. Swargalok or Indralok, where demigods live. All the 3 33 crore demigods live in this Indralok or heavenly planet, where Indra is the Raja, is the king, Lord Indra. Then Bhuvarlok, where some ghosts and Rakshasas live, and then Bhuloka. So in these top 4 planets, Satyalok, Tapolok, Janalok and Maharlok, this is the destination of people that are situated in mode of goodness. Maharlok se upar. Maharlok, Janalok, Tapolok, Satyalok. In these 5 planets, Swargalok, Bhuvarlok, Bhulok, Atal and Vital, ये 5 में is the destination of people that indulge in mode of passion mostly, like बहुत ज़्यादा fruitive activities करते हैं जो very like sense gratification, enjoyment, and they're not hurting anybody, right? But they are just in very engaged in fruitive activities. And Sutal, Talatal, Mahatal, Rasatal, Patal. These are the destination of the people that are in mode of ignorance, right? This is where all the people of lower jivas of lower consciousness live. So the consciousness evolves from lowest Patal Lok to the Satya Lok, right? Consciousness evolves slowly. That is what Om Bhur Bhuva Swa means. So Bhu Bhuva Swaha refers to the 3 realms of our consciousness, and it also refers to these planetary systems. And that is what Krishna is saying, that the destination of each jiva that is controlled by different mode will be different. And he will mention this again in subsequent shlokas. Let me show you just a quick sneak peek. So we have read 14 and 15. After 16, 17, and 18, this is a very important verse if anybody wants to remember, that those situated in the mode of goodness gradually go upward to the higher planet. Those in mode of passion live on the earthly planets. Those in the abominable mode of ignorance go down to the hellish worlds. So this actually makes it more clear. In the verse that we just read, 14.15, Krishna actually says that the people in mode of ignorance take birth in animal kingdom. Mura yonishu jayate. So basically anything with lower consciousness. They can go into lower species or lower planets, hard to say, right? And it is very hard for us to know who's going anywhere, because we don't really know which mode is controlling which jiva. And we just read that each jiva is controlled by all the 3 modes in varying amounts, right? Some are more in mode of goodness, and sometimes it varies through the day, through the various phases of our life. So we cannot say where anybody is going. So that is not our task to say that, oh, you are going to upper planet or lower planet and such, because based on Bhagavad Gita. No, our job is only to stay engaged in the loving devotional service of the Lord, to stay in Krishna consciousness and try to transcend the 3 modes. Whatever destination these people go to, we do not, that is not something we need to decide or control even for ourselves. We just try to stay in as much spiritual realm as much possible, right? So Krishna ke haath mein rehna, humko Maya ke haath mein nahi rehna, right? So engage in as much spiritual activities as possible and make everything spiritual. Your work can be spiritual, your car can be spiritual, your spouse, your husband, your family, your children, your home, your clothes, everything can become spiritual if you engage everything in the service of the Lord. So anything and everything that is engaged in the service of the Lord will become spiritual. Remember that everything has been given to us by the Lord to engage in His service, including this body. So we cannot mistreat this body, right, by eating abominable things or by watching or hearing abominable things. We have to treat this as a temple where Paramatma resides and try to transcend the 3 modes. Right? So this is where I'll stop. Please, everybody share their thoughts, realizations, and add anything or any questions. Yes, Hema.
I have one question. In this, the planetary system, the Bhuvarlok, Rakshas, and Ghost, how are they in that? I thought they were more lower. But
Yeah,
they're the ones in the fashion, right? Who come to this kind of planet.
Yes, so this is all mode of passion wale planets, Bhuvarlok also. And this is, I'm forgetting the deity of this planet. I think Kuber and those are Rakshasas. brother of Ravan, right? So they are Rakshasas, they are not demons. Like demons are different. And I don't know why ghosts is there, but Rakshasas definitely are upper, higher than the humans. All these details again, they'll come more in Srimad Bhagavatam. The whole planetary systems, they're described in detail in Bhagavatam, so we'll read there. But this is just for the prelim understanding. Yes, any other questions or thoughts?
It's actually interesting. I think the demons is actually above. It's in Swargloka, right?
Who?
Demons. I just looked at.
Demons?
I'm sorry, I was surprised to see that actually in that
Oh,
picture.
it's in that picture only?
I thought so. That was just surprising for me. Can you share that picture, please?
Yeah, I just saw that. Yes, you're right. I don't know why that is. Because as I understand, Prahlad Maharaj rules in Vitallok, which is a lower planetary system. So they are the planets of demons, like Hiranyakashipu and all. They were in Vittal Lok.
Patal Lok is by Bali Maharaj, right?
Which one?
Patal Lok.
I
Bali
thought it was.
Maharaj.
I thought it's higher, but we'll have to refer to Bhagavatam for all this
I think you know
details.
that when the when this pastime happens of the Vaman Dev, at that time Vaman Dev does put his head and pushes it down to Patal Lok and gives him the Patal Lok to rule actually.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then that's what I remember. And then the other thing, why I was thinking about demons, when Navya asked me what I was telling her, is is because that I think they do a lot of tapasya. Even this all these demons and Raksha, they have siddhis and they do tapasya. That's why in the higher planets. So they are they do tapasyas of demigods. Demigods are above the Rakshasas and ghosts. But I think that's why the demons and demigods, they always keep fighting, right? They always are fighting. One is ruled by the guru for one, the demigods is Brihaspati, for the demons is Shukracharya, and they're always fighting or having this fight for ruling the Swarglok.
Okay.
When the demons win, then the Swarglok, the Indra gets thrown off his seat, and like Bali Maharaj threw Indra, and there's so many other demons in the past who have won the war against the demons and against the demigods, and then have taken control of the Swargloka. Like even Ravana had control of Swargloka at a time and all the so.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for sharing. Anybody else wants to share anything? I always meant to show this verse that you have read in second chapter many lifetimes back. So 2.45, and some might have memorized this. Traigunya Vishya Veda Nishtraigunya Bhavarjuna Nirdvandvo Nitya Sattvasto Niryoga Kshema Atmavan. So here Krishna says very clearly that the Vedas deal with the subjects of the three modes of material nature. O Arjuna, become transcendental to these three modes. Nishtray Gunya Bhava Arjuna, that become transcendental, very clearly says. And be free from all dualities, nirdvandvo, nitya sattvasto, and be free from all anxieties for gain and safety, and be established in the self. Niryoga kshema atmavan. So he says very clearly that you have to become nishtray gunyo, that this world is ruled by this. Vedas is giving the knowledge of the three modes of material nature, but you have nothing to do with that. You should transcend, you should rise above these three modes. I will post the important verses of 14th chapter, and whoever feels inspired, please feel free to memorize them if possible. There are two at least very important verses coming up in next couple of sessions. Okay, so if no more questions, we'll chant one round. Okay. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki
Jai.
Jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः गुरुवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकाय तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णपक्षाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. Thank you, everybody. Have a good day.